Sorry. Hold on. I had to end the stream.
My camera is not coming on. Hold on 1 second. Huh. I'm gonna rejoin. Sorry about that.
Not a problem, Dean. I just assumed you had it off on purpose. That's why I went ahead to do the launch.
All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I seem to be here. If you can hear me, Connor.
All good?
See you and hear you. All right then, Connor.
You're good to go.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This is a convening of the Massachusetts Gaming Commission. I'm Jordan Maynard. I'm currently serving as interim chair. We're holding this meeting virtually, so we will do a roll call. Good afternoon, Commissioner O'Brien.
Good afternoon. I'm here. Or I guess, yeah, look at that. 3 minutes in.
3 minutes in. Good afternoon, Commissioner Hill.
Good afternoon. I'm here.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Skinner.
Afternoon. Very awkward to say for our Thursday meeting.
So it is. So it's September 12th, 2024. It's approximately 12:03, as we just mentioned. And we will start with Secretary Skinner presenting some minutes.
Okay, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, we're going to hold the December 20th, 2022 set until the September 26th meeting, if that's okay with you. We're just going to take a second look at them. So I will take the January 3rd and 4th, 2023 sets together, given that we were all present for those meetings. And so I move that the Commission approve the minutes from the January 3rd, 2023 and the January 4th, 2023 meetings that are included in our packet, subject to any necessary corrections for typographical errors or other non-material matters.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Brien,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Skinner,
Aye.
and I vote yes 4-0. And thank you, Commissioner Skinner. I took us back to a very stressful time in the history of the Gaming Commission, which was the launch of sports wagering in the Commonwealth. So appreciate you doing those minutes. And I know they were long sets.
Long sets, and all thanks goes to the legal team, Judy Young. And her
As always. We are now going to kick it over to Executive Director Dean Serpa to present the final candidate for Division Chief of Sports Wagering. Good afternoon, ED Serpa.
Good afternoon, Chairman Maynard. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Yes, today I do want to give you all an update from the hiring committee for the Division Chief Sports Wagering Division position that we've been endeavoring on. Just to remind you, the hiring committee included Commissioner Brad Hill, Communications Division Chief Tom Mills, our Chief People and Diversity Officer David Muldrew, our Acting IEB Chief Enforcement Counsel Kathleen Kramer, and myself. As you know, we posted for this position on July 16th, 2024. And I wanted to let you know we received 43 applicants, 8 of which we considered for interviews. We then selected and interviewed 5 candidates. And following those interviews and a few follow-up meetings of the committee, we selected 1 candidate who we thought was the right person to lead the department in this next phase. I would note that we had a number of internal candidates for the position. And one thing that became clear, I feel I can speak for the entire committee when saying this, but one thing that became clear is that without question, the subject matter experts on this topic, in many ways anyhow, they work right here at the Massachusetts Gaming Commission. So that being said, I can report now, pursuant to your request at the July 11th public meeting, that the committee has selected Carrie Teresi, who, as you know, currently serves as one of the Gaming Commission's deputy legal counsels, as our final candidate, and we plan to move forward with an offer to Carrie directly. And I believe Carrie is on the screen with us today, and I'm not sure if Commissioner Hill has anything he wants to add to that.
I don't have anything to add, except it was a great process. And as you said, right here on the Mass Gaming Commission, we have professionals that know this subject inside and out. And it was a very tough process to go through, but in the end, we're happy that Carrie is our pick.
Yes, we are. And that's my update, Commissioner Maynard.
Thank you, ED Serpa. Commissioners, would like to add? Commissioner O'Brien.
So I've already expressed this privately to Carrie, but congratulations. And I do think we do have an embarrassment of riches in this office in terms of that. I think it's a great choice, and I think that you've got a great team going forward. So I'm looking forward to you taking over. Congrats again.
Commissioner Skinner.
I want to say congratulations to Carrie. I get the opportunity to congratulate her personally, or in person, I should say, this morning. The knowledge and expertise that she brings to this role is only going to mirror exactly what we saw as Deputy General Counsel for so many years. And I appreciate you stepping up to take the reins. I wish you all the best in your new role, and very much looking forward to continuing to work with you, just in a different capacity. And to the other internal candidates, congratulations to you too. I think that you'll find a wonderful leader in Carrie. And my request of you is to be proud that you did decide to throw your hat in the ring in this process. It wasn't an easy decision. I don't envy my colleagues for having to make it, but please stick with us. The fact that you did not rise as chief is in no way any indication of your value. We do value you, and we'd very much like to continue working with you. And as part of our team, we need you. So stick with us.
Thank you, Commissioner Skinner. I want to thank the committee for all their hard work. I know that it's not an easy process. Every commissioner has had an opportunity now to sit on a committee or two for hiring. It's tough. It's a tough gig to have, but it's important, and it usually yields the best result for the agency, which is the best result for the Commonwealth. And when I signed off on the agenda and saw Carrie's name, the first thing I thought was, in my now over 2 years of being here, when I know Carrie has touched a project, I know the project is good, and I know the work product is excellent. And so that is, have no doubt, going to be brought to this new role too. So thank you, Carrie, for everything that you do for us every day and every capacity that you've had in your long tenure here at the Gaming Commission. I know that the sports wagering division is in really, really good hands. Would you like to say anything, Carrie?
I would. Thank you all so much for the kind words and the support and the opportunity. I am thrilled to be stepping into this new role after serving the Commission in the Legal Department for the last 9 years. And I'm really excited for all of the, I'm sure, interesting and challenging items ahead, and to work with a really excellent team. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate it, and it's exciting. So congratulations. With that, we're going to talk to another former deputy GC who went on to take another role here, Director Monahan.
Good morning and congrats to Director Teresi. So the first matter that we have, I'm actually going to turn over to Interim CEC Kathleen Kramer, and it relates to briefing on non-compliance matters.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. I don't have much by way of introduction. We just have one sports wagering non-compliance matter or alleged non-compliance matter to bring to you all today to see what your preferences are for next steps. So I'm going to turn it over to Enforcement Counsel Zach Mercer to give you the briefing.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Thank you, Kathleen. This is an alleged non-compliance incident involving temporary Category 3 sports wagering licensee Crown MA Gaming LLC doing business as DraftKings and implicates 205 CMR 256.07, 205 CMR 233.06, and 205 CMR 133.06, relating to communications sent to members of the state's voluntary exclusion list. On August 14th, 2024, DraftKings contacted the Commission's Sports Wagering Division and reported the following incident. On August 13th, 2024, DraftKings transmitted an email pertaining to a specific golf wager that was settled under the quote-unquote dead heat rule due to 2 or more golfers being tied for the same finishing position. This email was intended for 13 recipients. This email indicated to recipients that their payout would have been less than their wager and indicated DraftKings would be issuing a bonus bet for the amount of the user's original wager in light of that. This is followed up by a link to DraftKings website with an article pertaining to how these wagers were resolved. Despite the intended recipient list of 13 users, due to human error, DraftKings erroneously sent this email to 1,230,520 Massachusetts registered DraftKings users or Massachusetts residents. Within that population of recipients were 184 members of the voluntary exclusion list. The IAB has not yet made a determination. However, if this email were to be identified as advertising, marketing, or branding, its transmission to individuals on the VSE list would be in violation of the aforementioned chapters of 205 CMR 256.07, 205 CMR 233.06, and 205 CMR 133.06. At this point, due to the nature of the facts, the amount of impacted individuals, the IAB is asking for the Commission's guidance on next steps. Those options, to remind the Commission, as they are familiar, is to move the matter to an adjudicatory hearing, refer the matter to the IAB pursuant to 205 CMR 232, or under Chapter 23N, Section 16, issue a civil administrative penalty on its own. But at this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions or seek any guidance from the Commission.
Thank you, Councilor Mercer. Commissioners, what are we thinking about this one? Commissioner O'Brien.
Given sort of the statutory requirement we have in 23K on maintaining that list and the seriousness of sending something like this out, I would like to refer it back to IEB, having them function as a party.
Okay, so have them function as a party. Okay.
I'm making sure I'm not misspeaking this time.
Yeah, I wanted to follow it too to make sure, because
Yeah.
I heard exactly what
The last
I picked
time,
up
right?
what you were putting down last time, but then went back and rewatched. Commissioner Hill,
That would be fine with me, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Skinner.
That's fine with me too. It seems to be the trend. I'm not going to fight it. I do have a question though. Without getting into too much of the details as we prepare for the hearing, when you say Massachusetts resident, does that include individuals who had no affiliation with DraftKings? So even if they weren't registered on their platform?
So my understanding from reading it, and obviously this is something we could get into further on an investigation, is that these were captured from a number of different lists. So not necessarily individuals just with a DraftKings account, but marketing leads, et cetera, that they had. So essentially it was an entire database worth of email addresses. As far as the specific sources of all of those, I'm certainly that's something that the IAB could come up with in a later investigation.
Okay. And do we know whether there were any under 21s included in that distribution?
Not as of yet, but that is also something that we could look into.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I will round us out and say I agree with Commissioner O'Brien, Hill, and Skinner, and we appreciate you moving forward in that manner. Zach, any questions?
No, thank you all.
All right. We're going to stick with you, Director Monahan. And thank you, CEC Kramer.
Thank you. We have one more item for the agenda today. We are requesting an executive session to discuss the use and deployment of security personnel or devices at EBH, MGM, and PPC, specifically with regard to firearm and parking garage security. I won't read all the language, but that's the general subject matter of the executive session.
Thank you. And I will read that in just a moment. I do want to make the commissioners aware that I may take out of order. It's rare that this happens. I've been in state government a while, but as my colleagues have, but I believe we received other business yesterday that was not reasonably anticipated by me, at least, or the commission at the time of the posting. And that's because it came in yesterday. I will kick it. So if the commissioners don't mind, let's move to item 6 before we move back to item 4B. And for that, I'm going to kick it over to Andrew Steffen to set the stage.
Certainly. Thank you. Good afternoon, commissioners. Yeah, a last minute item, something that came to our attention late Tuesday morning, and this begins on page 50 of your packet. Our division was alerted via email by U.S. Integrity regarding multiple incidents involving match fixing within the Chinese Football Association, or the CFA. And for today's purposes, I'll be using soccer and football interchangeably, so don't get confused with American football. This is soccer as we know it. The Chinese Football Association is a member of FIFA, which is the larger umbrella under which all professional soccer leagues and matches are played. FIFA, and by extension, the CFA, are approved for wagering in Massachusetts and have been since the launch of the initial catalog last year. The CFA oversees the country's international squads, the men's and women's professional club soccer leagues, as well as the Chinese FA Cup, which is just their domestic tournament. The alert from U.S. Integrity highlighted bans and suspensions levied against several players and officials for match fixing. The alert identified or revealed at least 120 matches have been fixed involving 41 individual club teams. This comes after a 2-year investigation into the top tiers of Chinese soccer, which also exposed that second and third tier of the men's leagues, as well as the top tier of the women's league, all of which were involved in this match fixing scandal. This also comes after 2 high-ranking officials within the CFA were sentenced to prison for their related actions within the last 6 months. In August, the former vice president of the CFA, Lee, received an 11-year prison term and was fined over $1 million, or 1 million yuan. And the former CFA chairman, Chen, was sentenced this past March to life in prison for accepting more than 10 million in bribes. And this information is all sourced in the memo that we prepared in your packet. We did reach out to U.S. Integrity on Wednesday morning, who stated this is still under investigation by their team, and they would share with regulators any updates as they do become available. And commissioners, what makes this a little more of an urgent matter is yesterday, as well as this morning, our team did also confirm that all of our operators, or at least the mobile operators, still do currently offer Chinese Super League matches for wagering in Massachusetts. The Chinese Super League, or the CSL, is that top tier of soccer in China. And as I mentioned earlier, is overseen and governed by the CFA. With that, I'll do my best to answer any questions you may have. However, it is our recommendation that the commission temporarily suspend wagering for any matches overseen by the CFA until further investigation is completed. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Hill, I see your mic's off.
Well, I just want to say, Andrew, thank you for bringing this to our attention. And with the explanation that you gave and with the information that we got yesterday, I see no reason why we wouldn't suspend wagering on the Soccer Federation that's in our catalog. And I'm more than willing to agree to do that with your recommendation. I would just like to hear what my other fellow commissioners have to say. And if they're with me, then I have a motion to make.
I'm with you for the reasons that you said. Thank you, Andrew, for doing this so quickly. Question that I have doesn't need to be answered now is whether this is an action that the operators could have taken on their own to suspend the bets before we officially remove it from the catalog. And I know in terms of the motion, I think maybe some of the language was to maybe temporarily suspend. I would be in support of just suspending them, because I would think, given the severity of what was just described, we'd want to be doing a deep dive before they were allowed back into the catalog.
That's a fair point, Commissioner O'Brien. I first of all agree completely. And I know that you're working off facts on an ongoing investigation, and that's probably part of that. But we got to take care of the integrity for the people in Massachusetts who are betting. Commissioner O'Brien, to your point, I wonder if I don't know the answer to this, if some of the operators have already pulled the markets already on their own. I don't even know. But that said, I would like to take this measure to make sure that we make it clear with all the operators that we don't want this in the catalog. Anything to add, Commissioner Skinner?
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. The information is out there. We have a responsibility to act on the information in the best interest of the Commonwealth. And so I agree, we should be suspending. And I'm okay with the temporary suspension, with the understanding that the matter will come back before us for discussion before we remove this suspension. But I'm also amenable to just outright suspending them as well until we have further information.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Hill.
so to be clear, if we don't temporarily suspend, at some point, should they clean up their act and they want to come back before us, it would be like they would be adding a sport back into the catalog, just so the public knows what we're doing here.
And it would have to go through that process too, which is a couple commissioners would lax the process from what it is right now. But it would have to go back through that process. But I'm fine either way too. I just want it off the books now. So, and then we can take it up if they clean up their act, or if it comes out that nothing's there, we can always go through the process.
One other question, Mr. Chairman. How many offerings are we talking about? Does anyone know? Andrew, perhaps? Just out of curiosity.
Total offerings, I don't have a total offering number, but
Okay.
Chair, I can tell you that our team did verify that Chinese Super League matches are still available as of this morning. So no wagers have been pulled. You can still wager on Chinese soccer, I'm sure, as of right now.
And that's across all operators.
Across all operators offer that league, which is, like I said, it's governed by the Chinese Football Association.
All right. So commissioners, do we have anything else to add? Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that in accordance with 205 CMR 247.038 and 205 CMR 247, the commission suspend its approval of the Chinese Football Association for inclusion in the official catalog of events and wagers until such time as an investigation into the matter outlined in the commissioner's packet and discussed here today is completed and the commission reaches a final determination.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Skinner,
Aye.
and I vote yes 4-0. And I'm sure we're going to get that information over to the operators, right, Andrew?
Yeah, we'll work with comms and legal to best distribute the information. Yep.
Thank you so much. And we appreciate your swift action on this.
Thank you.
With that said, commissioners, were there any updates? Okay, let's go back to 4B. I'm going to read some language in, and if we so choose, we will move into executive session. The commission anticipates that it will meet in executive session in accordance with General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A4, Chapter 30A, Section 21A7, and General Law, Chapter 4, Section 726F, to discuss the use and deployment of security personnel or devices or strategies with respect thereto at Encore Boston Harbor, MGM Springfield, and Plain Ridge Park Casino, specifically with regard to firearms and parking garage security, to discuss investigatory materials related to MGM parking garage security necessarily compiled out of the public view by the IEB, the disclosure of which materials would probably so prejudice the possibility of effective law enforcement that such disclosure would not be in the public interest, and to discuss responses to the commission's internal control related directives submitted by Encore Boston Harbor, MGM Springfield, and Plain Ridge Park Casino related to the same subject matter outlined herein. The public session of the commission meeting will not reconvene at the conclusion of this executive session.
Mr. Chair, I move that the commission go into executive session on the matters and for the reasons just read into the record.
Thank you.
Second,
Thank you, Commissioner Skinner. Commissioner O'Brien,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Skinner,
aye.
and I vote yes 4-0. We will not be returning. Meeting everyone. Have a good Thursday.